Alrighty, so today I want to talk about the future EZAs, no pun intended, that we could be seeing for GDC, the Global Dokkan campaign, all of that fun stuff. Now, if you guys are living under a rock or you didn't see yesterday's video, the teaser for the Global Dokkan campaign contained a little snippet of Zamasu's voice basically saying, like, now is the time or the time is ripe. And if you don't know, that is dialogue taken from when he tells Goku Black, essentially, all right, it's time for us to fuse into Merge Zamasu. So the leading candidate right now for who at least one part of the Global Dokkan campaign is going to be more than likely a reversible exchange Goku Black and Zamasu that probably fuse into Fusion Zamasu, but obviously that is not a guarantee right now. So because we can only sit and speculate on who the unit is going to be, or the units are going to be, what I want to do in today's video is talk about some potential EZAs that we could be seeing during the celebration. Now, usually what I like to do with these is just kind of put them into a video being like, here's who I think is going to get an EZA. We're not really going to be doing concepts in here. We're just more or less going to be looking at the kits of the characters, seeing what they have, and then kind of working from there, saying this is what I would like to see from this EZA, this is what I would like for them to get rid of with the EZA. And this year we actually have some pretty interesting prospects here for potentially who could get an EZA. Now, when we look at some characters that we got in the past, Rose, Vegito Blue, like, we're already done with those characters, and the meme character right here, I would not say that their window is open just yet. I think Truth said that, like, they're just that wording, like the window, but they only came out in 2023, right? Like, we're not already looking at 2025 and being like, okay, it's time for them to EZA. They're not even 2 years old yet, so wouldn't really be thinking about these four characters here in terms of the EZA realm, but where we cut it off right here, this is where things do get interesting. Now, the first character to me that I want to talk about today is going to be in Fusion Zamasu. Now, there's one issue with this character right off the bat, is he does not link with his tech counterpart. And when you have that issue with the linking between the two, it can be a bit frustrating, for sure. But to me, what this character is going to be bringing to the table is a phenomenal linking partner for the Part 1 character, because it is more than likely going to be a reversible exchange character. So if you were to transform into Fusion Zamasu, that is not going to be an issue. Now, looking at his passive skill right here, we'll worry about the super attacks a little bit later, but what do we have? We already have extra key spheres for 5 turns, and this is going to be a really easy entrance condition because Potara is basically the Future Saga team, so that's not really going to be an issue with this character. When it comes to his orb changing, this is going to be pretty simple. We don't really need to change that. And then what we do need to do is up this damage reduction. I would like to see a number closer to 60 or 70% on a baseline, assuming this character does not get any guard. So we need to have a high baseline for damage reduction because he's not going to have any other defensive gimmicks off of the top of the head right here, right? So that is something that we need to mention. Now, when we get more than 18 key, we are going to have a guaranteed additional super attack. So we have guaranteed additionals, we have damage reduction, and then with 24 key, which is easy to get with the extra key and the orb changing, we have effective against all types. So this is a very good little skeleton right here, and then with every attack received, we're getting extra damage reduction. So if you were to have a baseline of 60%, maybe some guard, and then he also was able to get damage reduction up to 10 after 5 attacks, we would have up to 70% damage reduction, and then we would also be getting 5 additional key. And as well, after we get those 5 attacks, we are going to be able to heal. So this character to me is already covering a lot of the good bases. We have offensive capability with the guaranteed additional super and the ability to be effective against all types. We have defensive mechanics such as healing with the orb changing to int, the extra key, healing at the end of the turn after you get 5 key, right? Or getting hit 5 times, excuse me. The extra key when you're getting hit, the extra damage reduction when you're going to be hit, the baseline damage reduction. Overall, I think this character has some potential. Now, as well, we also have the sort of defensive ability to lower the enemy's attack on both of our 18 key and 12 key super attack effects, as well as offensive and defensive raises. If they want to keep that on 1 turn so he's not a stacking character, I think that's fine. But I would like to see that also be raised a bit. Maybe it would go to massively, or it would just be like permanent with stacking, because then all of a sudden you have a character that could work out really well in the Festival of Battles. So the first character I want to talk about is Fusion Zamasu. I'm sure you guys can figure out why that's pretty exciting, but let's go back and talk about the next one, which is going to be his Part 1 counterpart, and that is going to be Trunks and Vegeta. Now, very similar to Fusion Zamasu, this guy also has a really good skeleton already in order to be a really good character. This is a permanent stacking character on their 18 key super attack, as well as additional raises here with the 12 key. Then, if we go down here, we have very easy guard conditions as being the first attacker in a turn. And then for every attack received, we are going to be receiving buffs, getting extra crits, getting additional attacks. This guy has a really good skeleton with the ability to stack, the ability to guard. The defensive numbers just need to be raised, and we also need to add on some additional damage reduction. And then all of a sudden, we're going to have a really good character here. They also have one of the best leader skills in the game, all things considered. When they came out, it was probably the best leader skill in the game. Bond the Parent Child, one of the best teams in the game for sure. Then also having a 200% to Battle of Fate is not bad as well. Then with the support right here, you guys can see we are also getting defensive support for 20% and also getting guaranteed crits. So this EZA also has potential to be really, really well done. And to me, again, we've talked about this before. They can always mess up an EZA, but I'm feeling pretty confident with this one that like this character was so good when they came out. They just need to give them a modern facelift and they should be good to go. I have some high hopes for this character, so hopefully I'm right. But yeah, I mean, just quickly, if we look at the Bond of Parent Child team, like you guys can see, this team is just already crazy, right? You look at all of the best units in the game, essentially, and they're right here. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, AGL Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Tech Vegeta, East Gohan, Tech UI Goku, right? We go down to the TURs. We have the Year 7s down here. We have AGL UI Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta, Tech Vegeta, or Gogeta, right? Namagoku is decent at best, right? We keep going down here. We have Kid Goku, Kaioken Goku, who's, right? That's not the best example. But like Daima Goku, Mr. Satan, just a lot of really good characters. AGL Bardock, Super Saiyan 3 Goku himself from Golden Week last year, right? Just a lot of high potential. Vegeta and Trunks as well with their EZA, hopefully. This is just a really good team, and overall, I think this EZA is probably going to be the most impactful of the bunch from this Future Saga if they stick within the Future Saga realm, but more on that later. So when it comes to the two major EZAs, these are definitely ones that I see happening. And then one that's kind of an off chance but possible, I also think it could be this Future Gohan and Trunks. With Future Gohan and Trunks, we have the ability to revive, so that's always very helpful. The issue is this base form is not great, and you really are like pretty locked out of what you want to do with this character until you get to here. But once you get here, we have some good stuff, right? We revive with 80% HP, and then once we get that, we also get damage reduction of 58%, so that's already a great start. Then if HP is 50%, why can't I talk now? When HP is 58% or less, we are going to be getting a Scouter with this character as well. So again, a modern facelift on this character. Maybe we get rid of that HP condition and then we just make it overall like a permanent Scouter. The damage reduction goes up to like 68, 78%. After you revive, and then the attack and defensive numbers become a lot better. I could easily see this being like a pretty good character. Maybe you give them guard or you give them like a dodge chance, so that way they can dodge supers and tank normals. But if we look at the base form for this guy, you are a little bit restricted to AGL orbs, right? Getting 5 or more just for a chance to hit a crit and then a little bit of damage reduction of 8%. Not going to be enough, right? You're going to be up to 16% right here. Then you also need an HP restriction to get the AGL key sphere changing. Then if you get 8 or more key spheres, again, with the changing, it's not too bad. You're going to be getting an additional super attack. So overall, again, skeleton items here, stuff that we like. Guaranteed additional supers, damage reduction, a revive, more damage reduction in here, orb changing, just a lot of good things that this character has. They just need to be done properly in order for it to be a really impactful EZA. But those are the 3 main Future Saga LR EZAs I see happening. Now let's look at the TUR scope of things, right? The first 2 that I want to talk about is going to be AGL Future Trunks and the Tech Androids. I think both of these characters here have a chance to be halfway decent. This guy just needs a little bit more in the additional super department and less in the additional normal department. And there also needs to be an incentive for him to transform, because the incentive on this character originally was nowhere near enough compared to what it needed to be. So it just ended up being a bit of an L, because this guy's not really a character you're running. As a leader, Entrusted Will is definitely not like a top tier team by any means. And then Android/Cell Saga is only limited to like when it's the celebration is good, but again, not the best. When the enemy is attack down, defense down, you just get some extra attack. Like, who cares, right? 50% is nowhere near enough compared to what we've seen with like Tau. Like, isn't Tau's number like astronomical in terms of what we're seeing from when an enemy is stunned, right? Isn't it like absolutely bananas? When the enemy is stunned, Mercenary Tau gets attacked 500%. And then if you're under 70% HP, he gets 1,000% attack. And Trunks, where's Trunks? 100. Literally 10 times less. So that's really what we need to do. We got to ramp this guy up, give him a reason to transform, and then I think we're in business. And then with the androids, they just need to kind of err on the side of caution here and just stay a little bit safer and make sure that they're just runnable. Maybe they get extra effects per grabbing tech orbs, they get dodge, they get damage reduction, they get guard, all of the things that we're looking for. You have to keep in mind they are always going to have that ghost usher, so always going to be a pretty clutch unit to have, but they definitely can be better for sure. Now, to round this video out, let's talk about the two major things that I think are going to be really exciting, and that is this dual Dokkan Fest right here, Vegito Blue and Rose Goku Black. Now, with both of these characters here, Super EZAs are what we're talking about. You guys can see here, damage reduction on normals and countering. More than likely, this is going to stay, so like supers are going to be a problem for this character, but if the numbers go up, you have ability to stack and stuff like that, this guy could potentially be really good. Now, the issue is with stacking on this character is this is not going to change because they have not changed super attack effects on individually on a Super EZA, so that could make things a bit interesting. But again, we do have damage reduction in the skeleton, and then Rose, you guys can see, is just, there's a lot that needs to happen here. He's literally just a support character, and then he builds up defensively, and then that resets at the end of the turn. So things that need to be changed. But that's what I'm thinking for Future Saga right now in terms of the EZAs, the major ones that you guys care about right now. When it comes to TURs, things are a little bit trickier, right? Like we have Trunks, we got the androids, but one thing you really need to keep in mind is that more than likely we are going to be seeing another aspect of Dragon Ball within the celebration, because I don't think it's just going to be pure Future. So let me know down below what you guys think of these EZAs. What do you want from them? Are you excited? Are you not excited? What do you think of the Future theme and all of that fun stuff? And if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like before you go and subscribe if you're new, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. I appreciate you guys watching this one. Thank you as always, and I'll see you in the next one.